You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
1 in 4 people suffer from some sort of mental illness. So if it was 1, 2, 3, 4, it's you, sir. You. Yeah, with the weird teeth. And you next to him. You know who you are. Actually, that whole row isn't right. That's not good. Hi, yeah, real bad. Don't even look at me. I am one of the 1 in 4. Thank you. I think I inherited from my mother, who used to crawl around the house on all fours. She had 2 sponges in her hand, and then she had 2 tied to her knees. My mother was completely absorbent. And she would crawl around behind me going, "Who brings footprints into a building?" So that was kind of a clue that things weren't right. So before I start, I would like to thank the makers of lamotrigine, sertraline, and reboxetine. Because without those 2 simple chemicals, I would not be vertical today. How did it start? My mental illness started, well, I'm not even going to talk about my mental illness. What am I going to talk about? Okay. I always dreamt that when I had my final breakdown, it would be because I had a deep Kafkaesque existentialist revelation, or that maybe Cate Blanchett would play me and she would win an Oscar for it. But that's not what happened. I had my breakdown during my daughter's sports day. There were all the parents sitting in a parking lot eating food out of the back of their car, only the English, eating their sausages. They love their sausages. Lord and Lady Rigor Mortis were nibbling on the tarmac. And then the gun went off and all the girlies started running and all the mummies went, "Run! Run, Chlamydia, run! Run like the wind, Veruca! Run!" And all the girlies running, everybody, except for my daughter, who was just standing at the starting line, just waving, because she didn't know she was supposed to run. So I took to my bed for about a month, and when I woke up, I found I was institutionalized. And when I saw the other inmates, I realized that I had found my people, my tribe, because they became my only friends. They became my friends, because very few people that I knew, I wasn't sent a lot of cards or flowers. I mean, if I had had a broken leg or I was with child, I would have been inundated, but all I got was a couple phone calls telling me to perk up. Perk up, because I didn't think of that. Because, the one thing that you get with this disease, this one comes with the package, is you get a real sense of shame. Because your friends go, "Oh, come on, show me the lumps, show me the x-rays," and of course you got nothing to show, so you're like really disgusted with yourself because you're thinking, "I'm not being carpet bombed, I don't live in a township." So you start to hear these abusive voices, but you don't hear one abusive voice, you hear about 100,000 abusive voices. Like if the devil had Tourette's, that's what it would sound like. But we all know in here, there is no devil, there are no voices in your head. You know that when you have those abusive voices, all those little neurons get together, and in that little gap, you get a real toxic, I want to kill myself kind of chemical. And if you have that over and over again on a loop tape, you might have yourself depression. Oh, and that's not even the tip of the iceberg. If you get a little baby and you abuse it verbally, its little brain sends out chemicals that are so destructive that the little part of its brain that can tell good from bad just doesn't grow. So you might have yourself a homegrown psychotic. If a soldier sees his friend blown up, his brain goes into such high alarm that he can't actually put the experience into words, so he just feels the horror over and over again. So here's my question. My question is, how come when people have mental damage, it's always an act of imagination? How come every other organ in your body can get sick and you get sympathy except the brain? I'd like to talk a little bit more about the brain because I know you like that here at TED. So if you just give me a minute here, okay. Okay, let me just say there's some good news. There is some good news. First of all, let me say we've come a long, long way. We started off as a teeny, teeny little one-celled amoeba, tiny, just sticking onto a rock, and now, voila, the brain. Here we go. This little baby has a lot of horsepower. It comes completely conscious. It's got state-of-the-art lobes. We got the occipital lobe, so we can actually see the world. We got the temporal lobe, so we can actually hear the world. Here we got a little bit of long-term memory. So you know that night you want to forget when you got really drunk? Bye-bye, gone. So actually it's filled with 100 billion neurons just zizzing away, electrically transmitting information, zizzing, zizzing. I'm going to give you a little side view here. I don't know if you can get that here. So zizzing away, and and for every one, I know I drew this myself, thank you. For every one single neuron, you can actually have from 10,000 to 100,000 different connections or dendrites or whatever you want to call it. And every time you learn something or you have an experience, that bush grows, that bush of information. Can you imagine every human being is carrying that equipment, even Paris Hilton? Go figure. But I got a little bad news for you, folks. I got some bad news. This isn't for the 1 in 4. This is for the 4 in 4. We are not equipped for the 21st century. Evolution did not prepare us for this. We just don't have the bandwidth. And for people who say, oh, they're having a nice day, they're perfectly fine, they're more insane than the rest of us. Because I'll show you where there might be a few glitches in evolution. Okay, let me just explain this to you. When we were ancient man, millions of years ago, and we suddenly felt threatened by a predator, okay? We would, thank you, I drew these myself. Thank you very much, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, we would fill up with our own adrenaline and our own cortisol, and then we'd kill or be killed, we'd eat or we'd be eaten, and then suddenly we'd defuel and we'd go back to normal. Okay, so the problem is nowadays with modern man, when we feel in danger, we still fill up with our own chemical, but because we can't kill traffic wardens or eat estate agents, the fuel just stays in our body over and over. So we're in a constant state of alarm, constant state. And here's another thing that happened. About 150,000 years ago, when language came online, we started to put words to this constant emergency. So it wasn't just, oh my God, there's a saber-toothed tiger, which could be. It was suddenly, oh my God, I didn't send the email. Oh my God, my thighs are too fat. Oh my God, everybody can see I'm stupid. I didn't get invited to the Christmas party. So you got this nagging loop tape that goes over and over again that drives you insane. So you see what the problem is? What once made you safe now drives you insane. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody has to be. Your pets are happier than you are. So kitty cat, wow, happy, happy, happy. Human being, screwed. Completely and utterly. So screwed. But my point is, if we don't talk about this stuff and we don't learn how to deal with our lives, it's not going to be 1 in 4. It's going to be 4 in 4 who are really, really going to get ill in the upstairs department. And while we're at it, can we please stop the stigma? Thank you.
I think they must have popped by for something.
Popped by? Sworn by, more like. There's a multitude out there.
They started following me yesterday.
Well, they can stop following you right now. Now stop following my son. You ought to be ashamed of yourselves.
think I'm the Messiah, Mum. Ah, what have you been telling them? Nothing, you're only making it worse for yourself. Look, I can explain.
Let me explain, Mrs. Cohen. Your son is a born leader. Those people out there are following him because they believe in him, Mrs. Cohen. They believe he can give them hope. Hope of a new life, a new world, a better future.
Who's that? Oh, that's Judith, Mum. Judith, Mother. Ah! Oh!
Now you listen here. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy. Now go away.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Melina Chambers, and your instructor asked me here today to talk to you about antisocial personality disorder, or sociopathy as most of us know it. Psychopaths are often confused with sociopaths. Although they're very different, they have similarities as well. Case in point, a young man I recently interviewed just a few months ago. For confidentiality purposes, I'll call him Patient X. And Patient X, surprisingly, was very open during the interview about his tendencies. At first, I thought he suffered simply from narcissism. He was very egocentric, and his personality was overwhelming. But as the interview went on, I narrowed it down to what I now believe was APD. Hello, Mr. Carter. I'm Dr. Chambers. Your mother asked me to talk to you to kind of iron out some problems.
My problem? I'm fine.
Well, it's not my place to point fingers, but I'm just the middleman here to iron out the kinks. She says you were recently in jail for a few days. You care to elaborate on that?
That shit was stupid. I got arrested for stealing a CD, but I didn't even steal anything. You know, I never even tried to walk out of the store.
Then why were you accused of stealing?
Well, security guy said he saw me put something in my jacket, you know, which I did, but I was only doing it to kind of hold it until I was done paying for whatever else I had. And I forgot about it and went to the bathroom, and he followed me in. Said I was stealing.
Well, typically, wouldn't you be arrested if it was your second or third offense? I mean,
well, that's what they said, but a couple years ago I got accused of stealing a bicycle. And then last year I got accused of stealing a belt from somewhere. But I wasn't even stealing anything, I was just trying on the belt. And I put it on and forgot it was on, so when I tried to leave after I paid for everything else, they pulled me over again and caught me for stealing. Stupid. I never even tried to steal anything, so.
I see what you mean. People are really quick to judge.
Damn right they are.
How was your childhood growing up with your parents? Say when you were 9, 10 years old?
Man, I loved it. You know, I got to do what I wanted. I slept when I wanted, ate what I wanted, and went where I wanted. And Mom never tried to annoy me with any of this stupid homework because that was pointless. You know, I just loved it. I had it made.
Did you get along at school? Like even with your teachers?
I got along with everybody, but the teachers apparently thought I was a problem child. You know, I got sent to the principal's office a lot for all kinds of crap. You know, stuff like talking too much or taking the other kids' stuff.
Stuff like stealing what kind of stuff?
You know, like this one kid in kindergarten. He was playing with all the little Tonka trucks. You know, so was I, but I was in a different corner. And I saw he was, you know, he wasn't using the little dump truck, so I went over there to take it. And this little bastard freaked out, went and told the teacher, and I got paddled for it. Got paddled a lot in kindergarten. That's why I remember it so much.
How about movies and video games? Did you play those as a child?
I watched Scarface a lot. A lot of horror stuff, zombie movies. All that romance shit is just retarded. I don't see how people can watch that stuff.
And video games?
A lot of Gears of War, Resident Evil, Call of Duty, stuff like that. It's getting kind of hard to find realistic stuff though, you know, like Rainbow Six. You get shot once and you're dead. I used to play online with people and I would shoot them in the arm just to scare them a little bit. It's pretty fun.
So blood and guts, gore, violence, that kind of thing, that's what you're interested in?
Pretty much, yeah. But a lot of times it just doesn't look real. Sometimes they'll use this stupid orange blood shit, and you can tell they use for cauliflower for the brains and stuff like that. It just doesn't look real enough.
How about with your parents? Did you talk back to your mom and dad?
Man, Dad wasn't even there. I don't know where he went. And Mom always wanted me to do chores. Why should I have to do chores? I'm not even at the house. Like, I was never there. She was always there. Why didn't she just do the chores?
Yeah, I see what you mean. How about school? How'd you do in that? Your mom said you're not going to school now. What's up with that?
Man, school's fucking pointless. It's do this ridiculous algebra problem, figure out why this sentence is wrong, and who was the 16th president. That's all useless information. Why should I be having to be required to learn stuff like this? It's not going to help me out. That's not the point of life.
So what is your view of life? Like, what would be your point?
I don't know. Just have fun. It's kind of hard to have fun with all these ridiculous rules around.
Yeah. You think maybe anarchy would be a solution?
Hell yeah. And get rid of all the stupid people. Natural selection, man. Speed limit signs. They're pointless. If we didn't have speed limit signs, all the smart people would drive the speeds they're comfortable at. And all the idiots would speed. And they would die. And we'd get rid of all the stupid people that way. It'd be awesome.
So if school is pointless, what's your next step? Are you going to get a job?
Why would I get a job? Mom's not going anywhere. She cooks, she pays bills, even pays for the gas in my car. Why? It'd be stupid to go anywhere else. I got it made.
You seem to think lots of things are pointless.
Most things are, at least for me. I don't need a job, and I don't need people telling me to do shit.
Tell me about your friends. Do they have the same point of view you have?
Well, Jake kind of does. He's got a job. That's only because his mom's an idiot. She won't even help him pay for his car. He also wants to go to college, which is also stupid. That's another thing that society tells you have to do. And most people go to college, and they get out, and then they'll go get a job that they weren't even in college for. It's pointless. That's why I won't be going to college.
Mm-hmm. So you just plan on staying with your mom as long as she's paying your way?
Hell yeah. Why would any sane person do that?
Well, she won't be around forever. When she's older, she won't be able to pay your bills.
Yeah, well, I'll figure that out when I get there.
Mm. So basically, you just believe that rules should not apply to you.
Not me, no. As long as I'm minding my own business, people should just leave me the hell alone.
Did you ever get in fights when you were in school? I'm just asking.
Once. This kid in 9th grade, this little bastard wouldn't stop pestering me. I don't even remember what for. It's the only real fight I ever got into. But he was really annoying. I do remember that.
So do you see yourself as aggressive?
I mind my own business. As long as other people mind theirs, I'm fine. If people start acting stupid, they need to get slapped.
Did you ever think maybe other people aren't acting stupid? They just have a different point of view than you do? They have a different way of thinking than you do?
And what the hell is it with you? You ask me all this stupid crap. Every time you ask me a question, it's like an interrogation. And you expect this psychobabble bullshit so you can sit there and write in your little notebook and tell everybody around you that I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. Everybody else is crazy. It don't make any damn sense to me. No one thinks like a logical, common sense kind of person. And everybody thinks that you should just go along with the stupid, pointless rules of society. And once you're a certain age, you should act a certain way. It's just follow the norm. To hell with Darwinism. Let's just make up all these rules and regulations and policies and police just so we can make sure that we keep all the ignorant, self-indulgent asswipes around for all eternity. How about that? And you're going to sit there and tell me that you agree with that? What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, I agree with